नमस्कार मित्रांनो, कसे आहात सगळे? मस्त मजेत ना? एस क्लास एज्युकेशन बाय सुहानीमध्ये आपल्या सर्वांचं मनापासून स्वागत आहे.
Chapter 2 Biological Classification. Since the dawn of civilization, there have been many attempts to classify living organisms. It was done instinctively, not using criteria that were scientific, but born out of a need to use organisms for our own use, for food, shelter, and clothing. Aristotle was the earliest to attempt a more scientific basis for classification. He used simple morphological characters to classify plants into trees, shrubs, and herbs. He also divided animals into two groups, those which had red blood cells and those that did not. In Linnaeus' time, a two-kingdom system of classification with Plantae and Animalia kingdoms was developed that included all plants and animals respectively. This system did not distinguish between the eukaryotes and prokaryotes, unicellular and multicellular organisms, and photosynthetic and non-photosynthetic organisms. Classification of organisms into plants and animals was easily done and was easy to understand, but a large number of organisms did not fall into either category. Hence, the two-kingdom classification used for a long time was found inadequate. Besides gross morphology, a need was also felt for including other characteristics like cell structure, nature of wall, mode of nutrition, habitat, methods of reproduction, evolutionary relationships, etc. Classification systems for the living organisms have hence undergone several changes over the time. Though plant and animal kingdoms have been a constant under all different systems, the understanding of what groups or organisms be included under these kingdoms have been changing. The number and nature of other kingdoms have also been understood differently by different scientists over the time. 2.1. Before that, let us see the paragraph. R.H. Whitaker in 1969 proposed a five-kingdom classification. The kingdoms defined by him were named Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. The main criteria for classification used by him include cell structure, body organization, mode of nutrition, reproduction, and phylogenetic relationships, also called as evolutionary relationships. Table 2.1 gives a comparative account of different characteristics of the five kingdoms. Let us see the table. Kingdom Monera. Cell type prokaryotic, cell wall non-cellulosic, that is made up of polysaccharides plus amino acids. Nuclear membrane is absent. Body organization is cellular. Mode of nutrition, it is autotrophic, chemosynthetic and photosynthetic, and heterotrophic, saprophytic or parasitic. Second kingdom, that is kingdom Protista. Cell type eukaryotic, cell wall present in some. Nuclear membrane is present because it's eukaryotic cell. Body organization is cellular and mode of nutrition, that is autotrophic, photosynthetic and heterotrophic. Third kingdom Fungi. Cell type eukaryotic, cell wall present without cellulose which is made up of chitin. Nuclear membrane is present. Body organization is multicellular or also called as loose tissue. Mode of nutrition, that is heterotrophic, saprophytic or parasitic. Fourth kingdom, that is kingdom Plantae. Cell type, that is eukaryotic, cell wall which is present and which is made up of cellulose. Nuclear membrane present. Body organization is tissue or organ type. Mode of nutrition autotrophic, that is photosynthetic. Fifth kingdom, that is kingdom Animalia. Cell type eukaryotic, cell wall is absent. Nuclear membrane is present. Body organization is tissue, organ or organ system. Mode of nutrition, that is heterotrophic, holozoic or saprophytic. After that, the three-domain system has also been proposed that divides the kingdom Monera into two domains, leaving the remaining eukaryotic kingdoms in the three-domain and thereby a six-kingdom classification. You will learn about this system in detail at higher classes. So let us look at this five-kingdom classification to understand the issues and considerations that influence this classification system. Earlier, classification system included bacteria, blue-green algae, fungi, mosses, ferns, gymnosperms and the angiosperms under plants. The characters that unified this whole kingdom was that all the organisms included had a cell wall in their cell. These placed together groups which widely differed in other characteristics. It brought together the prokaryotic bacteria and the blue-green algae called as cyanobacteria with other groups which were eukaryotic. So it also grouped together the unicellular organisms and the multicellular ones. For example, Chlamydomonas and Spirogyra were placed together under algae. The classification did not differentiate between the heterotrophic group called as fungi and the autotrophic green plants, though they showed a characteristic difference in their walls composition. That is, the fungi had chitin in their cell wall, while the green plants had a cellulosic cell wall. When such characteristics were considered, the fungi were placed in a separate kingdom called as kingdom fungi. All prokaryotic organisms were grouped together under kingdom Monera, and the unicellular eukaryotic organisms were placed in kingdom Protista. Kingdom Protista has brought together Chlamydomonas, Chlorella, which was earlier placed in algae within plants and both having cell walls. So Chlamydomonas, Chlorella with Paramecium and Amoeba and Paramecium which were earlier placed in the kingdom Animalia which lack cell wall. So it has put together organisms which in earlier classification were placed in different kingdoms. So this happened because the criteria for classification changed. These kind of changes will take place in future too, depending on the improvement in our understanding of characteristics and evolutionary relationships. Over time, an attempt has been made to evolve a classification system which reflects not only the morphological, physiological and reproductive similarities but also phylogenetic, that is based on evolutionary relationships. In this chapter, we will study characteristics of kingdoms Monera, Protista and fungi of the Whittaker's system of classification. The kingdoms Plantae and Animalia, commonly referred to as plant and animal kingdoms, respectively will be dealt separately in the different chapters, that is chapter number 3 and chapter number 4. So let us start with kingdom Monera. Bacteria are the sole members of the kingdom Monera. They are the most abundant microorganisms. Bacteria occur almost everywhere. Hundreds of bacteria are present in a handful of soil. They also live in extreme habitats such as hot springs, deserts, snow and deep oceans, where very few other life forms can survive. Many of them live in or on the organisms as parasites. Bacteria are grouped under 4 categories based on their shapes. The spherical coccus, also plural form is called as cocci. The rod-shaped bacillus, plural form that is bacilli. The comma-shaped Vibrium, plural form that is Vibrio. And the spiral-shaped or the Spirillum, plural form that is Spirilia. So you can also, Spirilla, you can also see the images. Next page. Though the bacterial structure is very simple, they are very complex in behavior. Compared to many other organisms, bacteria as a group show the most extensive metabolic diversity. Some of the bacteria are autotrophic, that is, they synthesize their own food from inorganic substrates. They may be photosynthetic autotrophic or chemosynthetic autotrophic. The vast majority of bacteria are heterotrophs, that is, they depend on other organisms or on dead organic matter for their food. 2.1.1 Archaebacteria. Those bacteria are special since they live in some of the most harsh habitats such as extreme salty areas called as halophiles, hot springs called as thermoacidophiles and marshy areas called as methanogens. Archaebacteria differ from other bacteria in having a different cell wall structure, and this feature is responsible for their survival in extreme conditions. Methanogens are present in the gut of several ruminant animals such as cows and buffaloes, and they are responsible for the production of methane biogas from the dung of these animals. Next is eubacteria. There are thousands of different eubacteria or true bacteria. They are characterized by the presence of a rigid cell wall, and if motile, a flagellum is present. The cyanobacteria, also referred as blue-green algae, have chlorophyll A, which is similar to the green plants and are photosynthetic autotrophs. So we can see the diagram. of blue-green alga called as cyanobacteria also. After that, next, the cyanobacteria are unicellular, colonial or filamentous, freshwater or marine or terrestrial algae. The colonies are generally surrounded by gelatinous sheath. They often form blooms in polluted water bodies. Some of these organisms can fix atmospheric nitrogen in specialized cells called as heterocytes. For example, nostoc and anabina. Chemosynthetic autotrophic bacteria oxidize various inorganic substances such as nitrates, and ammonia and use the released energy for ATP production. They play a great role in recycling nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, and sulfur. Heterotrophic bacteria. Heterotrophic bacteria are most abundant in nature. The majority are important decomposers. Many of them have a significant impact on human affairs. They are helpful in making curd from milk, production of antibiotics, fixing nitrogen in legume roots, etc. Some of pathogens causing damage to human beings, crops, farm, animals and pets, those are chlorella, typhoid, tetanus, citrus canker are well-known diseases caused by different bacteria. So the cholera is caused by Vibrio cholera. Next, typhoid is caused by Salmonella typhi, tetanus is caused by Clostridium tetani, and citrus is caused by Xanthomonas citri. Next, bacteria reproduce mainly by fission. Sometimes under unfavorable conditions, they produce spores. They also reproduce by a sort of sexual reproduction by adopting a primitive type of DNA transfer from one bacterium to the other. The mycoplasma are organisms that completely lack a cell wall. They are the smallest living cells known and can survive without oxygen. Many mycoplasma are pathogenic in animals and also in the plants. So you can see the diagram of a dividing bacterium, how they are showing fusion. Next, kingdom Protista. All single-celled eukaryotes are placed under Protista, but the boundaries of this kingdom are not well defined. What may be a photosynthetic prostidian to one biologist may be a plant to another. In this book, we include chrysophytes, dinoflagellates, euglenoids, slime molds, and protozoans under Protista. Members of Protista are primarily aquatic. This kingdom forms a link with the other dealing with plants, animals, and fungi. Being eukaryotes, the protistian cell body contains a well-defined nucleus and other membrane-bound organelles. Some have flagella or cilia. Protists reproduce asexually and sexually by a process involving cell fusion and zygote formation. Let's start with chrysophytes. So this group includes diatoms and golden algae called as desmids. They are found in freshwater as well as in marine environments. They are microscopic and float passively in water currents, also called as plankton. Most of them are photosynthetic. In diatoms, the cell walls form two thin overlapping shells which fit together as in a soap box. The walls are embedded with silica and thus the walls are indestructible. Thus, diatoms have left behind large amount of cell wall deposition in their habitat. This accumulation over billions of years is referred to as diatomaceous earth. Being gritty, this soil is used in polishing, filtration of oils and syrups. Diatoms are the chief producers in the oceans. Next, dinoflagellates. These organisms are mostly marine and photosynthetic. They appear yellow, green, brown, blue or red depending on the main pigment present in their cells. The cell wall has stiff cellulose plates on the outer surface. Most of them have two flagella. One lies longitudinally and the other transversely in a furrow between the cell wall plates. Very often, red dinoflagellates, example Goniaulax, undergo such rapid multiplication that they make the sea appear red and causes red tides. Toxins released by such large numbers may even kill other marine animals such as fishes. 2.2.3 Euglenoids. Majority of them are freshwater organisms found in stagnant water. Instead of a cell wall, they have a protein-rich layer called as pellicle, which makes their body flexible. They have two flagella, a short and a long one. Though they are photosynthetic in the presence of sunlight, when deprived of sunlight, they behave like heterotrophs by predating on other small organisms. Interestingly, the pigments of euglenoids are identical to those present in the higher plants. For example, euglena, you can see the image of euglena, that is 2.4.b. Next, slime molds. Slime molds are saprophytic protists, so the body moves along decaying wings and leaves engulfing organic material. Under suitable conditions, they form an aggregation called as plasmodium, which may grow and spread over several feet. During unfavorable conditions, the plasmodium differentiates and forms fruiting bodies, bearing spores at their tips. The spores possess true walls and they are extremely resistant and survival for many years even under adverse conditions. The spores are dispersed by air currents. 2.2.5 Protozoans. All protozoans are heterotrophs and live as predators or parasites. They are believed to be primitive relatives of animals. There are four major groups of protozoans. First, that is amoeboid protozoan. These animals live in fresh water, seawater, or moist soil. They move and capture their prey by putting out pseudopodia, also called as false feet, as in amoeba. Marine forms have silica shells on their surface. Some of them, such as entamoeba, are parasites. Flagellated protozoans. The members of this group are either free-living or parasitic. They have flagella. The parasitic form cause diseases such as sleeping sickness, example trypanosoma. Ciliated protozoans. These are aquatic, actively moving organisms because of the presence of thousands of cilia. They have a cavity that opens to the outside of the cell surface. The coordinated movement of rows of cilia causes the water latent with food to be stirred into the gillet, example that is paramecium. You can see the figure 2.4b for the paramecium. Sporozoans. This includes diverse organisms that have an infectious spore-like stage in their life cycle. The most notorious is Plasmodium, also called as malarial parasite, which causes malaria, a disease which has a staggering effect on human population. 2.3 Kingdom Fungi. The fungi constitute a unique kingdom of heterotrophic organisms. They show a great diversity in morphology and habitat. You must have seen fungi on a moist bread and rotten fruits. The common mushroom you eat and the toadstools are also fungi. White spots seen on mustard leaves are due to a parasitic fungus. Some unicellular fungi, for example, yeast, are used to make bread and beer. Other fungi cause diseases in plants and animals, that is, wheat rust causing Pachynia is an important example. Some are the source of antibiotics, for example, penicillium. Fungi are cosmopolitan and occur in air, water, soil, and on animals and plants. They prefer to grow in warm and humid places. Have you ever wondered why we keep food in the refrigerator? Yes, it is to prevent food from going bad due to bacterial or fungal infections. With the exception of yeast, which are unicellular, fungi are filamentous. Their body consists of long, slender, thread-like structures called as hypha. The network of hypha is known as mycelium. Some hypha are continuous tube-filled with multinucleated cytoplasm, and these are called as cenocytic hypha. Others have septate or cross walls in their hypha. The cell walls of fungi are composed of chitin and polysaccharides. Most fungi are heterotrophic and absorb soluble organic matter from dead substrates and hence are called as saprophytes. Those that depend on living plants and animals are called parasites. They can also live as symbionts in association with alga as lichen and with roots of higher plants as mycorrhiza. Reproduction in fungi can take place by vegetative means, fragmentation, fission, and budding. Asexual reproduction is by spores called as conidia or sporangiospores or zoospores, and sexual reproduction is by oospores, ascospores, and basidiospores. The various spores are produced in distinct structures called fruiting bodies. The sexual cycle involves the following three steps: fusion of protoplasms between two motile or non-motile gametes called as plasmogamy, fusion of two nuclei called as karyogamy, meiosis in zygote resulting in haploid spores. When a fungus reproduces sexually, two haploid hypha of compatible mating types come together and fuse. In some fungi, the fusion of two haploid cells immediately results in diploid cells, that is 2N state. However, in other fungi, Ascomycetes and Basidiomycetes, an interventing dikaryotic state, that is N plus N, 2 nuclei per cell. Such a condition is called as dikaryon, and the phase is called dikaryophase of fungus. Later, the parental nuclei fuse and the cells become diploid. The fungi form fruiting bodies in which reduction division occurs. Reduction division means meiosis, leading to formation of haploid spores. The morphology of mycelium, mode of spore formation, and fruiting bodies form the basis for the division of kingdom into various classes. First class, that is Phycomycetes. Members of Phycomycetes are found in aquatic habitat and on decaying wood in moist and damp places, or as obligate parasitic on plants. The mycelium is aseptate and cynocytic. Asexual reproduction takes place by zoospores. Zoospores are motile, or by aplanospores. Aplanospores are non-motile spores. These spores are endogenously produced in sporangium. A zygospore is formed by fusion of two gametes. These gametes are similar in morphology or dissimilar. If they are similar in morphology, called as isogamous, or dissimilar in morphology, called as anisogamous or oogamous. Some common examples are mucor, which can be seen in the diagram 2.5a, rhizopus, also called as the bread mold, and albugo, the parasitic fungi on mustard. Next, 2.3.2 Ascomycetes. Commonly known as sac fungi, the Ascomycetes are mostly multicellular, for example, penicillium, or rarely unicellular, for example, yeast, also called as Saccharomyces. They are saprophytic, decomposers, parasitic, or coprophilous, which means growing on dung. Mycelium is branched and septate. The asexual spores are conidia produced exogenously on the spatial mycelium called conidiophores. Conidia on germination produce mycelium. Sexual spores are called ascospores, which are produced endogenously in sac-like asci, that is singular ascus. Thus, asci are arranged in different types of fruiting bodies called as ascocarps. Some examples are Aspergillus, which can be seen in figure 2.5b, Claviceps, and Neurospora. Neurospora is used extensively in biochemical and genetic work. Many members like morels and truffles are edible and are considered delicacious. Next, that is Basidiomycetes. Commonly known form of Basidiomycetes are mushrooms, bracket fungi, or puffballs. They grow in soil, on logs and tree stumps, and in living plant bodies as parasites, for example, rusts and smooths. The mycelium is branched and septate. The asexual spore are generally not found, but vegetative reproduction by fragmentation is common. The sex organs are absent, but plasmogamy is brought about by fusion of two vegetative or somatic cells of different strains or genotypes. The resultant structure is dikaryotic, which ultimately gives rise to basidium. Karyogamy and meiosis take place in the basidium, producing 4 basidiospores. The basidiospores are exogenously produced on the basidium, and the plural form of basidium is basidia. The basidia are arranged in fruiting bodies called as basidiocarps. Some common members are agaricus, also called as mushroom. You can see mushroom in figure 2.5c. Astilago, also called as smote, and Puccinia is called as rust fungus. Puccinia can be pronounced in different manner. Next, Deuteromycetes. Commonly known as imperfect fungi because only the asexual or vegetative phases of these fungi are known. When the sexual forms of these fungi were discovered, they were moved into class they rightly belong to. It is also possible that the asexual and vegetative stage have been given one name and placed under Deuteromycetes, and the sexual stage another and placed under another class. Later, when the linkage were established, the fungi were correctly identified and moved out of Deuteromycetes. One perfect, that is, sexual stages of members of Deuteromycetes were discovered, they were often moved to Ascomycetes and Basidiomycetes. The Deuteromycetes reproduce only by asexual spores known as conidia. So this is something which is important. The mycelium is septate and branched. Some members are saprophytes or parasites, while a large number of them are decomposers of litter and help in mineral cycling. Some examples are Alternaria, Coletrotrichum, and Trichoderma. Next, that is kingdom Plantae. Kingdom Plantae includes all eukaryotic chlorophyll containing organisms commonly called as plants. A few members are partially heterotrophic, such as insectivorous plants or parasites. Bladderwort and Venus flytrap are examples of insectivorous plants, and Cuscuta is a parasite. The plant cells have an eukaryotic structure with prominent chloroplast and cell wall, mainly made up of cellulose. You will study the eukaryotic cell structure in detail in chapter number 8. Plantae includes algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, and angiosperms. Life cycle of plants has 2 distinct phases: the diploid sporophytic and the haploid gametophytic, that alternate with each other. The lengths of the haploid and diploid phases and whether these phases are free living or dependent on others vary among different groups in plants. This phenomenon is called alternation of generation. You will study further details of this kingdom in chapter number 3. Kingdom Animalia. This kingdom is characterized by heterotrophic eukaryotic organisms that are multicellular and their cells lack cell wall. They directly or indirectly depend on plants for food. They digest their food in an internal cavity and store food reservoirs as glycogen or fat. Their mode of nutrition is holozoic by ingestion of food. They follow a definite growth pattern and grow into adults that have a definite shape and size. Higher forms show elaborate sensory and neuromotor mechanism. Most of them are capable of locomotion. The sexual reproduction is by copulation of male and female, followed by embryological development. Salient features of various phyla are described in chapter 4. 2.6 is the last topic of this chapter, that is viruses, viroids, prions, and lichens. In the 5 kingdom classification of Whitaker, there is no mention of lichens. Lichens can be pronounced in different manners also. And some acellular organisms like viruses, viroids, and prions. These are briefly introduced here. So, all of us who have suffered the ill effects of common cold or flu known what effects viruses can have on us. Even if we do not associate it with our condition, viruses did not find a place in classification since they are not considered truly living. If we consider living as those organisms that have a cell structure, the viruses are non-cellular organisms and that are characterized by having an inert crystalline structure outside the living cell. Once they infect a cell, they take over the machinery of the host cell to replicate themselves, killing the host. So, would you call viruses living or non-living? So, basically they kill the host and use the machinery of host for replicating themselves. The name virus, that means venom or poisonous fluid, was given by Pasteur D.J. Ivanovsky in 1892, recognized certain microbes as causal organism of the mosaic disease of tobacco. They were found to be smaller than bacteria because they passed through bacteria-proof filters. M. Bejernik in 1898 demonstrated that the extract of the infected plants of tobacco could cause infection in healthy plants and called the fluid as contagium vivum fluidum, also called as infectious living fluid. V. M. Stanley in 1935 showed that viruses could be crystallized and crystals consist largely of proteins. They are inert outside their specific host cell. Viruses are obligate parasites. Obligate means strictly parasites. In addition to proteins, viruses also contain genetic material that could be either RNA or DNA. No virus contains both RNA and DNA. A virus is a nucleoprotein and the genetic material is infectious. In general, viruses that infect plant have single-stranded RNA. Viruses that infect animal have either single or double-stranded RNA or double-stranded DNA. Bacterial viruses or bacteriophage, that is called as viruses that infect the bacteria, are usually double-stranded DNA viruses. You can see diagram 2.6b where you can see the diagram of bacteriophage. Next, the protein coat called capsid, made of small subunits called as capsomers, protects the nucleic acid. The capsomers are arranged in helical or polyhedral geometric forms. Viruses cause diseases like mumps, smallpox, herpes, and influenza. AIDS in humans is also caused by a virus. In plants, the symptoms can be mosaic formation, leaf rolling and curling, yellowing and vein clearing, dwarfing, and stunt growth. Next, viroids. In 1971, T. O. Diana discovered a new infectious agent that was smaller than viruses and caused potato spindle tuber disease. It was found to be a free RNA. It lacked the protein coat that is found in viruses, hence named viroids. The RNA of viroid was of low molecular weight. Prions. In modern medicine, certain infectious neurological diseases were found to be transmitted by an agent considered of abnormally folded protein. The agent was smaller in size to viruses. The agents were called prions. The most notable disease caused by prions are bovine spongiform encephalopathy, also called as BSE, commonly called as mad cow disease in cattle, and its analogous variant C. R. Jacob disease called as CJD in humans. Next, that is lichens. Lichens are symbiotic association, that is mutually useful association between alga and fungi. The algal component is known as phycobiont and the fungal component is known as mycobiont, which are autotrophic and heterotrophic respectively. Algae prepare food for fungi and fungi provide shelter and absorb mineral nutrients and water for its partner. So close is their association that if one saw a lichen in nature, one would never imagine that they had two different organisms within them. Lichen are very good pollution indicators. They do not grow in polluted areas. So next we are going to read the summary. Biological classification of plants and animals was first proposed by Aristotle on the basis of simple morphological characters. Linnaeus later classified all organisms into two kingdoms, that is, Plantae and Animalia. Whitaker proposed an elaborate five-kingdom classification: Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. The main criteria of the five-kingdom classification were cell structure, body organization, mode of nutrition and reproduction, and phylogenetic relationships. In the five-kingdom classification, bacteria are included in kingdom Monera. Bacteria are cosmopolitan in distribution. These organisms show the most extensive metabolic diversity. Bacteria may be autotrophic or heterotrophic in their mode of nutrition. Kingdom Protista includes all single-celled eukaryotes such as chrysophytes, dinoflagellates, euglenoids, slime molds, and protozoans. Protists have definite nucleus and other membrane-bound organelles. They reproduce both asexually and sexually. Members of kingdom Fungi show a great diversity in structures and habitats. Most fungi are saprophytic in their mode of nutrition. They show asexual and sexual reproduction. Phycomycetes, Ascomycetes, Basidiomycetes, and Deuteromycetes are the four classes under this kingdom. The Plantae includes all eukaryotic chlorophyll containing organisms. Next, algae, bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms, and angiosperms are included in this group. The life cycle of plants exhibit alternation of generations, gametophytic and sporophytic generations. The heterotrophic eukaryotic multicellular organisms lacking a cell wall are included in the kingdom Animalia. The mode of nutrition of these organisms is holozoic. They reproduce mostly by the sexual mode. Some cellular organisms like viruses and viroids as well as the lichens are not included in the five kingdom system of classification. So in this way we have completed our reading, and thank you so much. See you in the next video. Bye bye.